Hello everyone, it's Rainbow Runner. Check out that pretty sunset. It's beautiful. This is the final sunset of not only 2019, but the 2010s decade. Unless you want to go by decade, it's by, like 2011 through 2020, and in this case it would be the 202nd decade, but I guess we'll go, if you want to do it by 2019 or the 2010s decade, that's fine with you, even though, alright, but that's not the point. Anyways, in honor of this, I just wanted to dedicate this to a video, or dedicate this video to something special. I graduated, as you know, from Chandler High School, class of 2019. And, yeah, here I am, as you all know, right here. So, time to read my senior project from this year, kind of reflecting what I may refer to as the Rainbow Road, or the Rainbow Saga. 2006 through 2019, the Rainbow Road. Yeah, this is part of my English class, my senior project. As you can see, I have several things. This Angel Moroni, because I'm part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I have the Avengers logo, the Rebels logo, American flag, a Pokeball, Ford, Coke, and, of course, CHS. All right. Yeah, and I have lots of arts, and I actually got a perfect score on this. So, 2006 through 2019, the Rainbow Road. Your own life is one of the greatest stories you can tell. This holds true for my own life, especially since 2006. Even to this day, I look back and relate to the experiences I've had even before starting the long road from kindergarten to senior year in 2006. Some days were among the best of my life, while others felt like hell to me. However, it's safe to say that things would not be the same without the broad range of my journey. This has allowed me to learn many things during this era. The past 13 years saw many diverse experiences that I will forever treasure. As a high-functioning person with autism, it makes me understand and reflect on my life significantly easier, particularly during my earlier years. It was during 2012, between my 5th and 6th grade years, that my parents revealed to me I have autism. Knowing this fact has helped me tremendously during my life. For example, certain things that seem weird to me, I would let get under my skin. I've been able to manage this better in recent years. I would also become fascinated by things that don't seem appealing to others. While my autistic mind may process different to some extent, I've created several outstanding things in life, just like other people with autism. As such, it shows I am just as capable as everyone else. As mentioned previously, these 13 years of schooling have had many twists and curves. This is something I can relate to from my personal experiences. For instance, 2014 was one of the lowest points in my life so far, with me only going on one major trip during that year, major trips being trips involving me leaving my state, and quite a few things not going how I envisioned. 2014 was a rather disappointing year for me. 2015 was basically the polar opposite, however. Since that year's beginning, my life skyrocketed to become one of the best years I've had to date. 2019 could possibly challenge that. On par with that. Anyways, I would go on a total of 5 major trips that year in 2015, 7 this year in 2019. While a few things didn't go how I would have liked that year, it's still tremendously better than 2014. These are just a couple of examples that would inspire my quote I created at the end of 2016. While some years are greater than others, every year has its great moment. This lesson I learned is one I find extremely important to this day, as it will help me remember the significant moments of every year. Even 2014 had its moments, particularly in the latter half of the year. One more lesson that has applied to me, especially during my high school years, is the fact that nobody can ever learn too much. In every year, there would be certain classes I would perform extremely well in compared to others where I would struggle more often. In those classes, I would confidently share my knowledge when a certain topic is discussed, even though classes may be repetitive with certain topics over the years. There's always something new to learn from it. As a senior this year, I still had that opportunity to learn new things and expand on things I've already known for the longest time. Seniority also isn't everything. had friends who were underclassmen help me with my understanding of certain topics. The long and short of the matter is that learning never ends. Knowledge is infinite. My journey from 2006 to 2019 saw a huge diversity of experiences, both good and bad in life. The broad range of experience and the lessons I've learned have helped me to navigate this rainbow road. Without them, I would most likely not be where I am today. This trip is about to come to a close, but a whole new one is about to begin. Well, it has, but hey, that was one at the end of my senior year. My post-high school years will be an excellent trip for me to embark on. The adventures from 2006 to 2019 will help me to travel down the new roads that my life after high school is presenting me with. A frozen moment in time. My senior year of high school is definitely a sea-changing type of year in my life. Like every year, there are significant moments that occurred. One of those moments came back on September 1st, 2018. That was the day my older sister was married to my new brother-in-law, Carl. Yeah, my sister Melody. Anyways, I played a significant role in the event as one of the groomsmen. This photo shows us all bonding with a wonderful man who came into our lives to become my sister's husband. While we did meet him for the first time in March 2018 before their engagement was announced in April, this moment was when our families truly united. I felt very proud of my sister beginning a new era of her own life. I also felt like the perfect time for their wedding since I would turn 18 6 days later on September 7th, solidifying the changes in my life. Yeah, and that was when Melody and Carl were married. Actually, my brother Kevin was on his mission at the time, and he had a cardboard color. At that time, I am currently listening to One Day More from Les Miserables, eating pizza, drinking Coca-Cola, wearing my trademark Indiana Jones hat, sunglasses, and Marvel attire. Case in point. Oh, wait, that's... Here we go. I got this at Disneyland, though. Feeling excited to graduate high school, wanting to travel to all 50 states, needing to finish high school strong, thinking about what will happen after high school, and enjoying my typical hobbies like Pokemon Go. Philosophical quote commentaries. There are many philosophers, both old and contemporary eras, that have many memorable quotes. Socrates is just one example. One of his quotes states that the unexamined life is not worth living. That proves to be a useful quote in many respects. The fact that one cannot live their life without reflecting on past events and what things were significant in their life. It's not limited to one's own life either. Many examine the lives of famous people and the impact they've made on others. One of the popular trends of examining life is YouTube's annual rewind video. The purpose, keyword, the purpose of the video is to recap the things that were popular in that particular year. I've done a similar thing by recapping my life of 2018 month by month at the end of that year, and 2019 as well. The small things you enjoy and the events you take part in can have significant effects for your future. Roy T. Bennett had several famous quotes. One of his quotes is an inspirational one saying, "If you believe very strongly in something, stand up and fight for it." Standing up for what you believe in does not always have to escalate to the full-scale war level. Being able to express your point of view on the situation and reasoning is the basic foundation of it. This was something that would help form what our society is today. Events such as the Civil Rights Movement and women's suffrage are just a couple of notable examples of what that entails. In fact, if it weren't for those type of movements, we would most likely only have white males being the ones who vote or work. The First Amendment of our Constitution gives everyone the freedom of speech. So if you don't feel right about something, step up and get the word out. A motivational quote by Amit Ray is one I find important in my life. The quote in question states, "Life is not always perfect. Like a road, it has many bends, ups, and downs. But that's its beauty." I can definitely relate to this quote from my own personal experiences. For example, 2014 was one of the darkest years of my life so far. It had quite a few things that didn't go how I envisioned. One notable example is the fact that the only major trip I took was in February of that year. On the flip side, 2015 was one of the best years I've had so far. 2019 could give it a run for its money again. While I created my own quote, while some years are greater than others, every year has its great moments. Even 2014 had its significant moments for me, besides my only major trip that year. The point is, your life will have both good and bad moments. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as interesting. A quote by Winston S. Churchill relates to success. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Gaining the courage to continue has the same general definition. When you take both success and failure into account, it expands on what that could imply. A notable analogy to illustrate my perspective is with sports. Say you're rooting for your favorite team. If they win, they try to win more. If they lose, they won't give up and try to win again. Having the courage and the will to continue is very powerful, since it will remind you what you are trying to achieve and give you the boost to troop through it, whatever it takes. In addition to the previously mentioned quotes, there are a few others that I can relate to in my own life. A hilarious quote by Mark Twain is, "Get your facts first, and then you can distort them as you please." In several aspects, that makes complete sense. It is always helpful to know the truth of things. While people enjoy making jokes of such things, it would make much more sense if you know its origin. A prime example of this are certain words like gay, which people these days typically use to associate with homosexual relationships. However, its historic definition is simply happy. Even when people adopt the word to refer to homosexual relationships in today's society, at least knowing its real definition would come to your benefit. After all, this world is not always about same-sex relationships. Aristotle created another quote containing some valuable words of wisdom, literally. He states that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. This quote proves to be valuable to practically anybody in many respects. There always have and always will be times when you will have fun. Having the knowledge of the things you enjoy will help significantly, as you can build your life around those things, whether that ends up being your job or just a hobby. Not only is something that knowing what you enjoy helpful, knowing you as a person is a valuable asset to your life. Some people get diagnosed with specific conditions. While some can be impeding, they can't stop them from accomplishing great things. My knowledge of my autism has helped me tremendously, as it allows me to understand the thoughts of my own mind better. I'm capable of anything I set my brilliant mind to, whatever it might be. Soren Kierkegaard has also made a valuable quote that I apply to my own life. The quote in question states that life must be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. That makes complete sense, considering I have a few instances where when I experienced something that relates back to something earlier in my life. One example of this has occurred within the past few years. In my sophomore year of high school, my choir performed "Do You Hear the People Sing" from Les Miserables. And then in my senior year, I took part in Les Mis as our musical. Looking back at my sophomore year, doing what I did then was a bit of foreshadowing for what would transpire this year in my senior year. I'll just say that. This is far from the only example of foreshadowing in my life. There will likely be instances, possibly this year even, that will predict future events of my life. John Locke was a philosopher who played a vital role in the founding of our country. One of his famous quotes is, "The mind is furnished with ideas by experience alone." This is yet another quote I can easily relate to. Without the broad range of experiences that I've had over the course of my life, it would be pretty safe to say that wouldn't be where I am right here and now. Obvious examples are the number of trips I've been on. I've been to 13 states, including Arizona as well as Mexico. My experiences aren't limited to those, however. The movies, games, food, soda, and other simple things that you enjoy also broaden your mind. My autism also plays a profound effect on my experiences. It is something I use to effectively furnish my mind. Future destinations, my future self. My road after high school will take me to endless numbers of destinations. My final destinations I still have yet to determine. However, I can foresee several different possibilities. I do plan to continue working my current job over this summer I have continued to work my current job since my schedule would no longer conflict with school. Then I've been considering I have been submitting my papers to do a service mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This allows me to look at career possibilities. Chandler Gilbert Community College would be my first choice for college, especially if I earn scholarships. I don't know if I've earned much But anyways, since I enjoy traveling, becoming a flight attendant would be a career I could pursue. Given enough time, I should be able to find a lady to marry and be able to start a family of my own. If this ends up being what comes to pass, my family as well as my bucket list would be the things I'd hold the most important. This would also make me great stories to tell my close friends. And finally, to the conclusion. Remembering this journey, the experiences of my life up until now have been a memorable one. It is one I don't wish to forget anytime soon. Along this road, I have learned several lessons that I hold at utmost value. The one that is my favorite and one I relate to the most is how every year of my life has its significant moments. I've lived lives that were hell and I've lived years that were like hell and years that were as bright as the sun. Even in the pits of the hell-filled years, there were some redeeming moments that I will treasure forever. This is definitely something I would like to pass on to people, particularly my friends and family. It is always great to have your legacy live on through many generations. I know that even when I die, I will never be forgotten. And then here's the back cover. I pretty much themed after the rainbow, rudder, power, space, time, mind, soul, reality for the Infinity Stones. And I have a good taste in stuff, creativity, and I have a quote from my high school years that I created. Quote, "Your high school years are an interesting road. They will contain major moments in your overall life, and they will be forever remembered." David Davis, Rainbow Rudder, 2019. All right, well, I hope this has been able to kind of give you a sense of what you guys are experiencing in your own lives. I hope that you guys might be able to find some use out of my quotes and everything as we end this decade and begin the roaring 20s. Okay, but yeah, I wish everybody a good new decade and new year. And I have some fireworks in the back that I'm going to light up tonight. So I'd like to thank you all, everybody, for watching my videos. Thank you all for, again, making this a good 2019 and a new decade. This is the first full decade that I've lived in terms of that, because I was born in 2000. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, thanks again, everybody. So make sure you stay tuned for more content as we move into 2020. And Rainbow Runner will be signing off for the end of 2019 and the 2010s decade.